into the fascinating world of $1 presidential coins. Coins that look common, spendable, and ordinary, but can actually be worth big money. These golden-colored dollar coins honor America's greatest presidents, but hidden among them are ultra-rare varieties, shocking mint errors, and special strikes that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands, and in extreme cases, even millions of dollars to own. In this video, we reveal the top 4 most valuable, expensive, and ultra-rare U.S. presidential $1 coins ever found. You'll discover rare P, D, and S mint mark coins, different golden color shades and finishes, coins pulled from circulation, drawers, and old collections. Why even dirty, worn, or damaged coins can still hold massive value. Let's get started. First up, 1. The year 2008 was a moment of tension and transformation in the United States, and the presidential $1 coin struck that year quietly absorbed that energy into its metal. While the world was focused on economic uncertainty and fear, the U.S. Mint continued pressing forward with a bold idea: to place the faces of American presidents directly into everyday circulation, turning history itself into pocket change. The 2008 P presidential dollar carries the authority of the Philadelphia Mint, a mint mark that symbolizes origin, intention, and legitimacy. Coins struck here are not experiments. They are statements. This particular coin belongs to a series that tried to rewrite how Americans interacted with their past, one president at a time. Unlike traditional coins, the presidential dollar introduced something unusual and controversial: a smooth edge carrying inscriptions instead of the face. That decision alone separated this coin from everything before it. When people first held it, they turned it sideways, confused, curious, sometimes suspicious, unsure whether it was real money or a strange metal. The golden color of the coin added to the mystery. It looked valuable, but felt ordinary. It shimmered, but wasn't gold. This visual contradiction caused many people to hesitate, and hesitation is what changes a coin's destiny. Coins that are hesitated over often escape normal circulation patterns. Sticker-sealed presidential dollars from 2008 tell a silent story of mistrust. People sealed them away not because they knew they were rare, but because they felt different. When people do not understand money, they protect it instinctively. Dirty and circulated examples of these coins are even more interesting. Every scratch, stain, and darkened patch is proof that the coin survived confusion, rejection, and neglect. These marks are not damage. They are documentation. The faces on the 2008 presidential dollar represent leadership frozen in time. These are not living men, but symbols of authority, ambition, success, and failure. Carrying such a face in your pocket is like carrying a chapter of American power history without realizing it. Many of these coins were pulled out of circulation quickly. Cashiers didn't like them, consumers avoided them, and banks quietly redirected them back into storage. When coins fail to integrate into daily life, they begin their transformation from currency to artifact. The shocking part of this coin's history is not a single error or moment, but the collective reaction to it. America rejected it politely, and polite rejection creates scarcity without drama. The edge lettering caused endless fascination and misunderstanding. Some coins appeared blank at first glance, leading people to believe they had found something extraordinary. That belief alone caused coins to be hoarded, traded, and locked away. Time changes metal, and the 2008 P presidential dollar reacts strongly to environment. Storage conditions, handling, humidity, and air exposure slowly alter its surface, creating unique personalities on each coin. The idea that a coin could change someone's fortune overnight is not about fantasy, but about timing. History rewards patience, not panic. Coins become powerful when attention returns to them unexpectedly. The presidential dollar series sits in an uncomfortable place in American coinage. It is modern, yet rejected. Official, yet unpopular. These contradictions give it long-term narrative value. Coins that fail commercially often succeed historically. When something doesn't work as planned, historians and collectors return to ask why. That why is where value begins to grow. The 2008 P presidential dollar is a physical reminder that not all government ideas succeed, but all of them leave evidence. Evidence becomes collectible. People who cleaned these coins believed shine meant importance. In reality, cleaning erased the very signs that made them interesting. Natural aging is the coin's signature. Many presidential dollars survived untouched because people simply didn't know what to do with them. Ignorance can preserve better than knowledge. The smooth edge, the golden glow, and the serious portrait create a coin that feels more symbolic than practical. Symbols age differently than tools. If you find a 2008 presidential dollar today, especially one that looks dirty or forgotten, restraint is your strongest move. Do not rush, do not clean, and do not underestimate. Because some coins are not about instant millions, but about silent survival. And silent survivors are often the ones history returns to when the noise fades. The 2008 presidential $1 coin is not just money. It is a record of ambition, rejection, and patience pressed into metal, waiting for the right moment to be understood. Next up. The year 2007 arrived quietly in American pockets, but history was already shifting beneath the surface. This was the first year the presidential $1 coins truly flooded circulation, and the Denver Mint, marked with a powerful letter D, was working at full force. What people didn't realize at the time was that they weren't just receiving change, they were holding modern history before it had time to age. The 2007 D presidential dollar does not scream rarity at first glance. Its golden color feels familiar, almost ordinary, yet that familiarity is exactly why so many of these coins slip through hands without a second thought. History often hides inside things that look common, waiting for time to reveal their importance. This coin represents a bold experiment by the United States Mint, an attempt to force Americans to reconnect with their past through daily spending. Faces of former presidents appeared not as distant portraits in museums, but as companions in wallets, registers, and forgotten drawers. That closeness made people uncomfortable, and discomfort changes behavior. The Denver Mint struck these coins with precision, but once they left the mint, control disappeared. Some were spent aggressively, others rejected immediately, and many were quietly sealed away in sticker rounds by people who felt something different about them, even if they couldn't explain why. Sticker-sealed presidential dollars from 2007 tell a story of hesitation and instinct. People didn't trust them fully, didn't understand them completely, and when humans don't understand money, they protect it. Protection is the first step toward preservation. The smooth edge of the coin caused confusion from the very beginning. Unlike traditional coins, the most important information wasn't on the face. It was hidden on the edge, like a whisper instead of a shout. This design choice alone created rumors, myths, and misunderstandings that still surround the coin today. Some 2007 D presidential dollars appear to have missing edge lettering, leading to shock, excitement, and panic. Whether real, imagined, or misunderstood, those moments permanently changed how people viewed these coins. Once a coin becomes a rumor, it can never return to being just money. Dirty and circulated examples of the 2007 D coin are often more historically honest than shiny ones. Each stain is proof of survival. Each scratch is a record of movement through an economy that didn't quite know what to do with this new kind of dollar. These coins lived through cash registers that rejected them, vending machines that refused them, and consumers who handed them back like mistakes. Rejection shapes rarity far more than intention ever could. The golden appearance of the coin gave it power. People assumed value, assumed importance, assumed risk. Assumption alone is enough to remove a coin from circulation, and removal is where transformation begins. Presidents on these coins are not just faces. They are symbols of leadership, controversy, ambition, and consequence. Carrying those symbols daily turned the coin into something heavier than its metal. The 2007 D presidential dollar exists in a strange space between success and failure. It was produced in large numbers, yet widely ignored. It was official, yet unwanted. Coins trapped in this contradiction often age into significance. Many people cleaned these coins, believing brightness meant worth. In reality, cleaning erased the very fingerprints of history that collectors later search for. Natural ware tells a story polish never can. Sticker rounds preserved coins in silence. While the world moved on, these coins slept, untouched, unchanged, waiting for a future audience that didn't yet exist. The idea that a coin can change a fortune overnight is not about magic, but timing. History does not reward impatience. It rewards those who recognize moments others dismiss. Coins like the 2007 D presidential dollar are not about instant wealth. They are about delayed understanding. What society rejects today often becomes tomorrow's curiosity. As years pass, fewer untouched examples remain. Coins get lost, damaged, spent, or destroyed. Scarcity is rarely planned. It happens quietly, one careless moment at a time. The Denver Mint mark gives this coin identity. It anchors it to a place, a moment, a workforce, and an intention. That single letter carries weight far beyond its size. The presidential dollar program itself is already history. No longer expanding, no longer evolving, frozen in its original ambition. Finished programs always invite re-evaluation. Collectors of the future will not ask how many were made. They will ask how many survived untouched, misunderstood, or preserved by accident. If you hold a 2007 D presidential dollar today, especially one that looks dirty, dull, or forgotten, understand this. History has already passed over it once. That alone makes it dangerous to underestimate. Do not rush to spend. Do not rush to clean. Do not rush to believe it is ordinary. Ordinary things do not provoke confusion, rumors, and rejection on a national scale. This coin is not a promise of instant millions. It is a reminder that fortune often hides behind patience, silence, and restraint. The 2007 D presidential $1 coin is not just metal. It is a lesson pressed into gold-colored alloy, teaching that value is not always visible at birth. Some coins shout their worth. Others wait for the world to come back and listen. And the most dangerous coins are the ones people thought they understood. Next up. Here is your original long-form script on the 2009 D presidential $1 coin crown money bag. The year 2009 did not feel like a year of celebration in the United States. Fear was in the air, money was tight, and trust in the system was fragile. Banks were collapsing, jobs were vanishing, and the idea of a safe dollar suddenly felt uncertain. In the middle of that financial storm, the Denver Mint quietly continued striking presidential $1 coins, releasing them into a world that no longer welcomed extra change. The 2009 D presidential dollar was born into crisis, and coins born in crisis never live ordinary lives. While previous years saw excitement and curiosity, 2009 brought rejection. People didn't want dollar coins. They wanted paper, familiarity, and control. This rejection changed the destiny of the coin before it ever had a chance to prove itself. By 2009, the presidential dollar program had already lost momentum. What was once a bold national experiment was now viewed as a failure by the public. Vending machines rejected the coins, cashiers hesitated, and consumers avoided them. That avoidance is not a weakness in history. It is often the beginning of rarity. The Denver Mint mark, the single letter D pressed into the coin, represents more than location. It represents survival. These coins were struck while the country was financially bleeding, and every one that survived circulation carries the weight of that moment. Sticker-sealed 2009 D presidential dollars tell an especially powerful story. People who sealed these coins away were not thinking about millions or overnight fortunes. They were reacting to fear. Fear makes people hold, store, hide, and forget. Forgotten coins are the ones history loves to resurrect. The golden color of the presidential dollar was deceptive. It looked valuable but wasn't trusted. It looked official but felt unnecessary. That contradiction made people uncomfortable, and discomfort pushes objects out of circulation faster than any government decision ever could. The faces on the 2009 presidential dollars represented leadership from another time, while the country was struggling with leadership in the present. That emotional disconnect made the coin feel out of place, almost symbolic of a nation questioning itself. Edge lettering continued to confuse and divide opinions. Important details were hidden where people didn't expect them. Some believed the lettering was missing, some believed it was wrong, and some believed it was special. Confusion creates legends faster than facts ever can. Dirty and circulated 2009 D presidential dollars are physical evidence of economic tension. These coins passed through hands that were nervous, hurried, and unsure. Every mark, every darkened edge, every dull surface is a fingerprint of recession. Many of these coins were immediately removed from circulation and placed into rolls, folders, and sticker rounds. Others were spent once and then rejected, dropped into jars, drawers, and forgotten corners of homes. That uneven survival pattern is exactly how future scarcity is born. The presidential dollar program was supposed to unite history and daily life. Instead, it exposed how quickly society discards what it doesn't immediately understand. Coins that fail publicly often succeed quietly decades later. The The 2009 D coin exists at a turning point. It represents the moment when production numbers dropped, enthusiasm vanished, and the program's future became uncertain. Coins struck at turning points age differently than those struck during confidence. People often believe only shiny coins matter, but history values truth over beauty. A dirty 2009 D presidential dollar has lived. It has traveled through fear, recession, rejection, and survival. That journey gives it narrative weight. Stick around examples freeze time. They lock the coin in the exact emotional moment it was pulled from circulation. That emotional preservation matters just as much as physical condition. The idea that a coin can change a fortune overnight is not fantasy. It is misinterpreted patience. Fortunes are changed when perception shifts, when overlooked objects gain meaning, and when history is reread with new eyes. The presidential dollar series is no longer expanding. It is complete, sealed in time. Completed series invite reassessment, speculation, and renewed interest. Coins that were ignored during production often rise after the story is finished. The Denver Mint continued its work even as demand fell. That disconnect between production and usage is critical. Coins struck without desire often disappear faster than anyone expects. Many 2009 D presidential dollars were melted, damaged, lost, or spent into oblivion. Destruction is the silent partner of rarity. No mint report can track what time erases. Cleaning these coins erased stories. Polishing removed evidence of survival. What collectors of the future seek is not perfection, but honesty. The coin's round shape, golden tone, and presidential imagery make it feel important, even when the market says otherwise. That tension between feeling and reality is where long-term value often grows. This coin does not promise instant millions. It promises something more dangerous: the possibility of future relevance. History has proven again and again that relevance is unpredictable. If you hold a 2009 D presidential dollar today, especially one that looks ordinary, worn, or forgotten, you are holding a question mark, not an answer. Question marks are where collectors make mistakes, or fortunes. Do not rush. Do not underestimate. Do not assume that today's indifference will last forever. History rarely stays bored. The 2009 D presidential dollar is a witness to economic fear, public rejection, and institutional stubbornness. That combination is rare. Coins like this do not shout their value. They wait for silence, distance, and time to do the talking. Some objects are born legendary. Others become legendary because nobody paid attention. This coin belongs to the second group, and those are the ones that change destinies. Next up. The 2008 D presidential $1 coin is one of those coins, born into a world of uncertainty, injected into daily life with mixed welcome, and now living in the shadows of history where only the observant and patient few appreciate what it truly represents. This is not just about metal and mint marks. This is about timing, psychology, survival, and the quiet power that emerges when a coin outlives its moment. The presidential dollar program did not begin with this coin, but by the time the 2008 issues were struck at the Denver Mint, the series had already become controversial. America had hoped that honoring its past leaders in circulating coinage would inspire pride, curiosity, and reuse. What happened instead was hesitation, rejection, and confusion. The public had already begun drifting away from coins, favoring paper, cards, and electronic payments, so when the golden-looking presidential dollars appeared, people didn't embrace them, they questioned them. That reaction alone changed the destiny of every 2008 D coin that left the mint. Philadelphia's Denver Mark strikes carry the D mint mark, a simple letter loaded with meaning. Denver was producing presidential dollars with precision, but the marketplace wasn't ready. People found the coin strange, awkward to use, and unfamiliar. They felt heavy, different, and visually unlike anything that had come before. That golden color, not gold, but a copper-manganese alloy, misled many into thinking the coin was special, rare, or worth more than $1. Others assumed the opposite: mistaken metal, cheap metal, unimportant metal. The mix of reactions created the first layer of mystery around this coin. When a coin is misunderstood at birth, it enters life with confusion already attached to it. Many 2008 D presidential dollars never circulated like quarter dollars or dimes. They were placed in pockets, jars, drawers, and collections by people who weren't sure what to do with them. Some bank tellers returned them. Some recipients refused them. Many simply kept them without a second thought. If a coin cannot find a home in commerce, it begins its long journey as something else. An artifact of a time when money was evolving. Dirty condition versions of this coin are among the most interesting to collectors, and misunderstanding plays a huge role in why. Dirty, darkened, even grimy surfaces often hide the coin's original skin, the microscopic texture imprinted by the mint press at the moment of striking. Cleaning a coin removes that skin, replacing history with bright metal that tells no truth about where the coin has lived. For bridges, for jars, for drawers, for decades. All that time quietly writing itself onto the coin's surface. That history is priceless. Collectors and historians know the truth. A dirty coin is not trash, it is a record. Every speck of oxidation, every dark patch, every uneven tone is testimony of survival. Those marks are proof that the coin resisted the urge to be improved by aggressive polishing or cleaning. Ironically, the coins that most people rush to clean are the ones that lost information that could have elevated their value later. Coins preserve what they are allowed to preserve, and once erased, original skin can never be restored. The emotional reaction to the presidential dollar series is clashing and controversial. Some people dismiss these coins instantly because they look too modern, too artificial, too unlike the familiar silver-colored quarters and half dollars of the past. Others looked at them and felt something deeper, a connection to history that was meant to be tactile, not digital. This coin was not just currency, it was meant to be memory held in the palm, a daily reminder of leadership woven into everyday life. But American spending habits had already shifted, and the narrative of coins was slipping into nostalgia before it even began. The 2000 AD presidential dollar saw itself thrown into this cultural tug-of-war, generally unwanted for everyday spending but emotionally interesting to those who pause to reflect. That pause, that moment of hesitation, is where coin history begins. Because coins that are wasted, ignored, or discarded don't survive. Coins that are hesitated over, questioned, and forgotten for a time sometimes survive long enough to be discovered by someone who pays attention. Sticker-sealed 2008 D presidential dollars are especially fascinating. People sealed them in protective holders not because they understood their potential, but because they felt something about the coin was unusual. That instinct, a feeling rather than knowledge, is powerful. Human instinct has led to some of the greatest coin discoveries in history. Intuition is not always logical, but it can be prophetic. In the early years after release, many people rushed to cash these coins in, thinking they were oddities, maybe cheap tokens. Others put them aside because the series felt unimportant. These two behaviors, spending and discarding, eliminated massive numbers of potential survivors from pristine condition. Every coin that was lost, melted, or scratched reduced the total number of high-quality survivors. That gradual erosion of original examples is where scarcity quietly formed. By the time enough years had passed for collectors to take notice, the series had already slid into a kind of obscurity. A coin that once felt common and unexciting became an object of curiosity precisely because most people stopped caring about it. A coin story does not begin and end with its minting. It continues in how people treat it. When society rejects a coin, it often becomes rarer in a way that only time can reveal. The golden hue of the 2008 D presidential dollar also created paradoxical psychology. Visually, it looked important, different, eye-catching, almost jewelry-like. But people didn't associate that appearance with value. They saw color, but they did not know what it meant. Most assumed dollar coins had no future value because they didn't contain precious metal. That assumption ignored an essential truth of numismatics. Value is earned, not declared by metal alone. Rare condition, historical context, survival patterns, and human interest all play a role far greater than metal composition in determining what becomes valuable over decades. Coins that reflect social transitions are always more interesting than those that merely represent currency. The 2008 D presidential dollar exists at a crossroads of American life, a time when physical money was still essential but was quickly losing its everyday importance. People were already waking up to the idea that physical coins might fade into history, replaced by electronic transfers, cards, and digital wallets. A coin produced at the moment of that transition captures not only economy but psychology. Another emotional layer comes from the subjects depicted on presidential dollars. Unlike generic symbols or landscapes, these are real people. Presidents whose legacies are debated, admired, questioned, and pondered. Carrying their faces in your pocket was supposed to be a living history lesson, But when daily life moved faster than reflection, those faces became background noise to people in a hurry. Histories of objects are not written in glossy finishes. They are written in the scars, patina, and where left by time. Vintage coins often show darkened shoulders, uneven tone, shaded rim edges, soft highlights, and subtle surface variations that no cleaning machine can replicate. These physical testimonies are what serious collectors search for, because they tell